Hi, Maisha.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, hon. How are you doing? I'm
Doing
Emily.
Nice to meet you.
Am I saying your name right? Is it Maisha? Maisha?
Maisha.
Maisha. First of all, thank you for your service. You are in residency. Wow.
Yes, I'm about to start actually in June. So,
Congratulations. Okay, cool. Where are you at?
University of Vermont.
Fabulous. Oh my God. That's awesome. My brother just wrapped up his, so I read yours and I'm like, oh, you poor thing. Not a fan. Good questions that you asked. Cool. Yeah, so I'm more than happy to help. I read your questionnaire. The way this will work is we'll first kind of just talk through the questionnaire and also like tips for prepping, and I'll give you some tips on prepping it overnight, like you
Yeah.
mentioned in the questionnaire, and then we'll go through wrapping it and just making sure, yeah, that it feels comfortable, secure, you're getting the curls you like and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but before we begin, how has it been working? Is it anything? Yeah. What are you thinking?
So, usually when it comes to my hair, I just hate like the frizzy hair or like the hair with the dents because you put it up in a bun, in the morning. So I guess I want to kind of use this as a way to, keep the style that I prep at night to then last until the next day. And then not like frizz up so much. Cause I guess I have a pretty like nice like a champagne problem
Yeah, your
of
hair looks amazing.
yeah,
A
which is
champagne
like I
problem.
have which is that I have knock on wood good hair right now. And
Hair, yeah.
um but like I find that often to get it to look this smooth and stuff like that, I'm resorting to that blowout brush. And I just don't want to do that as much. I want to experiment with rocking my natural wave pattern. And so that's kind of why I've been kind of exploring what products to use. And in terms of like, yeah, even like what hair product and then, how to kind of go through like how much you have to dry it at night, before I put this in, things like that, so that in the morning I'm not like, oh, my hair looks like a disaster.
Yeah.
Even though I spent all this time at night trying to.
Yeah. Yep. So have you used it before in the past?
What have I used in the past? Usually, honestly, I think I've used something very similar,
Okay.
but I'm also like very bad at using all these kind of tools of,
Yeah.
bun makers and all these pins and stuff.
Story
So,
of my life.
um, I just feel like, you know what, if I could just get a little bit of help, that
Yep.
would be best. Because I feel like, oh, it doesn't stay in.
It doesn't.
Um, yeah, and then I also think that sometimes what I do is just like, yeah, my hair dries out in the night, or like I'll blow dry it and then just, yeah, and then but then it gets ruined in the morning because I put it up in a bun and there you go.
Yeah.
Um and I just feel like I want to experiment a little bit with my style. I don't want to wear the same style all the time.
I hear you. Okay, cool. So when it comes to like prepping your hair, to reduce the frizz, so you said you shower at night, right?
Yeah, in residency, like,
Every night.
or even during med school, it was honestly in the night.
Yeah, and you're gonna probably have some weird hours as well where you're not gonna want your hair to like wait for it to dry. Uh,
Yeah.
so if that's the case, you do want your hair like mostly dry. I recommend most of the time starting with your hair completely dry and then lightly dampening it ear level down. Uh,
Uh,
and the problem with when your hair is naturally air drying, it's actually the reverse. So like this is going to dry first and this is going to dry last, which means you're going to
yes.
get more frizz, especially like while you're sleeping. Like wet hair while it's drying, that's like wetter while you're sleeping, it's just going to cause more frizz up here. And that's what you're mentioning.
Yeah.
So would recommend using a blow dryer. You could use it on a cool setting. That's what I do. I have like I can recommend one to you. that I found that's like super turbulent and like really cool setting, which helps to dry it. So if you're just looking at like the heat damage protection, like you're still covered on that front. But just really focusing at the roots, or at least blasting it for a little bit. But you do want your hair only like lightly damp. I'm trying to think what other things. If your hair isn't greasy, you don't need to wash it every night. That's a different scenario. Like if you wash your hair every night or you don't, that's a whole, because you could get away with not
every other,
every other.
um, yeah, I mean, like, again, I think it depends on just like how busy was my day and stuff like that. But yeah, usually it's every other. And then I think in terms of, yeah, air drying, it also just takes so long. Like by the time I shower, I have like 2 hours and then I have to go to bed.
Yeah,
So
and you have nice thick hair. It's going to take a minute to air dry.
yeah, that's always a struggle too. So
It's always a struggle. Yeah, so I mean I don't like, yeah, blow drying is gonna be what your option is, to be honest. Otherwise,
okay,
like the days in between, would recommend wrapping it before you go in the shower
yeah.
and putting a shower cap on,
Mm-hmm.
and because the moisture in the air is just gonna help set it. So you don't even need to necessarily dampen it. It'll just like reset those curls and you can just like go to bed like that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And then if you find it's still frizzy, which I don't think your hair, like just looking at it, I think you'll be fine. But some people use like a silk turban or a satin turban.
yeah,
I can send you some links to those. Up to you, but I don't think you'll need it. I think it's really just more about like the moisture control and getting it the right amount of damp,
yeah.
which yeah, I know you're not that enthused. You're like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I mean, I think I kind of realized that, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to use a blow dryer for smooth hair. Um, and on the days I don't have to wash my hair, I can just,
Yeah, because the other thing is that if it's just too wet, it's not going to set. And that's the
yeah,
other big problem. It's going to just come out looking like a wet dog. Like it's just not going to,
yeah,
like my hair was too wet last night and this is what happens. Like it just doesn't,
yeah.
right? And I knew it was when I went to bed, but I was like, all right, I'm just going to do it anyway and see if it's better. And it's like, no, it's like you get these weirdness to it and it's not good. Um, so that's why it's like really important making sure it's like dry and like only cool to the touch, very lightly damp. I usually recommend if you don't have like a spray bottle, take a washcloth, wring it out and wipe your hair. Like it's
Yeah,
weird, but you just don't want it super wet.
no.
Yeah, that's all I got for you, hon. I'm sorry it's not the answer you wanted. If it helps. I don't know. I'm trying to think what other things are here. But yeah, a cool blow dryer doesn't damage your hair.
Yeah,
And I can send you a link to one that I found that's like pretty quick for drying your hair. Then at least, even if you do majority of that and then just like a quick blast of the heat, because heat does dry it faster, but
oh,
um at least then you're minimizing the damage as well.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Oh, all right. I'll just want to jump into the wrapping
yeah.
part. Okay.
So this is it, right? Okay.
Yep. So we're going to
So,
want our hair parted into two sections and brought up front. Since you're like me and we do a side part, I usually recommend just kind of cutting it over to the middle
okay.
a little bit. Like you keep the side part and then just zigzag it over. So it's a little bit more middled. Side and then middle. Yep. Perfect. And that way you have more even amounts of hair on both sides. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So now, yeah, your hair would be brushed. You'd want to lightly dampen it. If you want to do that now, you can. If you don't, that's fine. We can skip it.
Yeah.
Yeah, skip. Okay, cool. Awesome.
And
All right.
then,
So then,
okay.
yeah, so I recommend having the scrunchies on the wrist. You got that. Cool. All right. So the way this works is you're going to want to fold it in half so that the ends are even.
Okay.
Cool. And you'll
Yeah.
notice the wire all along one side. So now when we put it on our head, we want that wire facing forward. And that crease helps to just make sure the ends are even this way. Awesome. And now the first step, I'll demo it first so you don't have to follow me along, but we're going to be making a pigtail on one side. So we don't need a clip or anything. We're just going to do
Okay.
that. And so to do that, are you a righty or lefty?
I'm a lefty.
So you'll put your right hand on top,
Okay.
and then with your left hand, you're gonna swoop in that way. Yep, perfect. Pull it, yep, towards your face and over, and you're gonna use the back of your hand to just kind of pop the end up. And if this is confusing, I have another trick for you. But yeah,
Yeah. Hold on. I have to like twist around the thing. Yeah.
front and over, and then just use the back of your hand to pop the end up. There you go. Yep, you're in a good position now. So all you need to do now is just push the end of the headband backwards. Perfect. And you're wrapping it around itself to just make like a pigtail on one end. And it should feel like a little secure, like it's not loose. It should feel like it's nice and secure and not really sliding around. So just like, yeah, hold it up there. And it doesn't matter what it looks like. Yep, perfect. Give it a good twist. Fabulous. All right, so now we can work on the other side. So we're going to start with a small front section. And we're going to go over and under. Awesome. Great. And now we're going to add another section right underneath the first and combine it. Great. And pull it over and under. Yep. And we'll do it a third time at another section right underneath. You're doing a good job having each wrap touch the last, so that there's no headband that you see in between the wraps. Fabulous. And now we're at the ear, so we're going to grab all the hair that's left. This will help the curl start sooner in the back.
Yeah.
And kind of pulling the headband like closer to your jawline. Yep. Just wrap it around and then all the way down the hair. Yep. Fabulous.
Okay.
And then scrunchie. We could, yeah, don't worry. I'll backtrack with you. And we could start from the beginning too if it all came loose. But I think you're at the ear at that point. If you grabbed all the hair together, so here you are.
You're right.
Yep, grab all the hair. It might have loosened up the other part. And then you're just wrapping it around.
Okay. And then yeah, the scrunchie is here.
Yep, and then you add the scrunchie on the bottom. Great. Now you have some hair sticking out, and that's totally fine. That'll give you straight ends.
Yeah.
If you want, do you want straight ends? Or do you
I
want?
mean, I'm actually fine with that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Otherwise, you just tuck them in. Not a big deal. Cool. All right. And then we repeat on the other side. So we take it down, and I'll give you a couple more tips along this side. So unwrap the little pigtail that we made. Cool. And now, so we're going to grab that front section. Now, one tip about that first few wraps that we take, you don't want it to be a deep section. You only want it to be about 1 inch deep at most. So like the deeper the section, that's where the headband's going to sit. So if like I take a section all the way back here, it's going to sit here and it's going to feel more like it's sliding off. So if that's the case, take sections that are just closer to your hairline and pull it over and then under. Yep. Grab another one, pull it over and under. And then once you get to the ear, fabulous, grab all the hair that's left and combine it and wrap it around. Yep. And if you get a poof, it's only because we want to grab the hair like once you get to the ear. Yep, that looks good. Cool. Then we add the scrunchie. Fabulous. All right. And then if you can twist to tighten it, which will help to like secure it on your head a little bit more. It'll also set the curls a little bit tighter. You could do that on both sides. Just give it a couple twists. Yep. Cool. And then we'll do the take the two ends, cross them in the back, switch hands. The one that's on top, you tuck it under. The one that's on bottom, you tuck it over. And then that's the if it feels like it's slipping, the only thing is to take smaller sections closer to the hairline, but it looks great. You nailed it.
That looks secure. Okay. Yeah. I
Cool.
think that.
You nailed it. So yeah, this should feel like it's not going anywhere. You'd be good to go.
No.
You look adorable. Yeah, and you can wear it under your scrubs and be good to go.
Wear this to the hospital in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. But yeah, anything else I can help you with?
No, that's pretty much it.
All right. All right. Well, if anything else comes up, you can always reach back out. Always here to help. And yeah, enjoy residency. Proud of you, hon. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Thank
Cool.
you very much.
You're welcome. Have a good day.